Okay, so I think we're recording here, and I'm just going to take you through the whole long, arduous, wonderful process of drawing while on the computer. I mean, it's the same kind of nervous and wonderful apprehension you get when confronting the figure without clothes, when you're in a studio with one another and drawing from the model. I come from that background, and it's the same heightened sort of feeling of some sort of sacred thing happening. I just want you to see the model I've chosen to draw from on my screen. Now I'm going to just move this over to another screen, and yes, you're going to see some deer in the background now of this screen. And I'm going to take you through the process just as if you were setting up your canvas. I'm going to use Photoshop I've moved the model over to another screen so I can look at it. I'm going to open Photoshop. This would be like you're getting your charcoal out, you got your canvas, you're getting your paper ready, and I'm going to go up here to File. I hope you can see me. I'm going to go to New, doing a new drawing. And these are all like different size drawings, but I'm going to make it my own. I'm going to call it Nude 1 by Roz. And I want this to be, I decide how big my canvas is. Let's say it'll be like 10 inches wide. I guess I'll go horizontal, and it'll be, why won't it do this? 10 by, let's say, 8. And I want it to be 300 pixels per inch, so I can go much bigger when I show this. And I do want my background. This is my background, white, but I could make another background, but I think I'll make it white, and I'm going to create. So here's my canvas, and here are my tools. Just like you're arranging all your things all over the screen. I don't need paragraph. I'm not writing. I do need layers. Layers are important. The background is white. I'm going to go ahead and save as to name my file. Nude 1 by Roz, Body Beautiful. It's a PSD file in Photoshop, meaning I can save many layers. And, the thing I use most, here's my tools over here, right here. And I'm going to use this drawing tool. I think I'm going to do this all in black and white, so I think I'd like to put this in grayscale mode. So I'm going to just discard the color information. It's that boring stuff you got to do. Like, you got to know how all your tools work before you get going. And there are going to be accidents anyway, even if you do that. But I think I'm ready to go. Now, I'm over here in my background. See where I am over here? And I'm going to make layer number 1. I do it through keystrokes. I mean, I've been doing digital art so long, and you can't see me right now, but I'll show you when I share this with you at the Barnett Center. Body Beautiful. Hello, everyone. I didn't even say that. I'm a little nervous today, too. I've never actually done this quite this way. So I have my little stylus in my hand, and I'm actually going to be touching the screen while I look at that image. And I want to make I'm going to go and select my color. I want black. I say okay. And then this is my layer 1, see, right over here. And I'm going to just use a hard round pressure sized brush. There are tons of brushes over here that I can choose. You can see, I mean, look at all these brushes I can use. It's like unbelievably complicated. I want the opacity to be 100 and the flow and everything. So let's see, what size do I want? I think I want it smaller than this. And I'm just going to go to my canvas, and I'm going to just like try drawing a little bit here. Oh, I still think my pen's too big. I'm going to start with a small pen. You can always undo things. And I want to just get that swoop of this guy with his hair, of course. Maybe that's just the first layer. Let's do another one. And I'm going to make my brush smaller. And I'm going to do the second layer of that like beautiful shoulder that he has, and down his back. And oh, here we go. It's not perfect, not at all. That's just one layer. I'm going to go to another layer. And I think I want to get a brush that is kind of smudgy, you know what I mean? Like maybe one of these. And I'm going to bring it up in size, and I'm going to make the opacity like 62. And I'm just going to see, I see some shadows in this, and I'm just going to make one right there. I'm going to do undo. I didn't really like that. Okay, so that's my next layer. Then I'm making another layer. I'm up to 4 layers. But you're kind of getting the process of what I'm going through here. And I'm going to go back to a very sharp brush again and make it much smaller. And I'm going to go back and make my opacity 100% again. But I'm going to make the brush itself maybe just kind of a gray. And I'm going to like, just draw some of his hair. Doesn't really have that hair feeling though. So I'm going to leave that because I don't mind that layer. And I can always undo it later. That's the cool thing. And I can always name these layers over here. Like, look, layer 5. It's a good idea. You go in there and go gray line near his hair. Because all these layers can go up and down and between each other. And whatever's on top of one another will be important in the drawing. So I'm going to go get another brush. I'd like to get something that looks kind of like hair. Let's see here. I've selected brushes. Maybe, I'm not sure this is going to do it, but I'm just going to try it. That's a little hair-like, but there is a feather brush that I'm looking for, and I can't quite find at this time. But that has a little bit of a hair stuff thing going on. And I'm going to just, oh yeah, definitely put that in. I'm going to make it bigger and go, whew, yeah, just a little bit of his hair. And now I'm going to go back to a line drawing right here and make it smaller, much smaller. And I don't know why, I just feel like I'm going to go into a new layer. And I'm going to make just 3 little, I just need those little lines. I mean, this is no perfect thing. I'm just trying to share with you what you go with. I'm going to go back to a black because I can always make it gray with less transparency. I tend to use sometimes just the simplest brushes because I just want my hand to show, Oh, what does that do? No, I don't think so. Oh, but that would be interesting. See this brush right here? I think I'm going to make it very small. And I see something on his back that kind of makes me maybe a little bit bigger. Makes me, a little bigger. And I'm going to give it less than 100% and go, oh, there's something going on in his back. And see, I can't get these kind of lines normally without working digitally. And I love that. There's some kind of instantaneous thing that happens with digital that's just so fascinating to me. And I'm already getting off of my canvas. So, maybe I'm going to make my canvas a little bit bigger. Let's go to canvas size. It's 10. Let's make it, it's 10 inches wide. I mean, I'm running off the canvas. So unlike you guys where you have to deal with the paper you have, I can just really expand the canvas right now. So I'm going to. Always feels like you're cheating a little bit. And I'll expand I want to expand the top. I'm going to make it 12 by 8. Now see, now I have more room. How about that? Now I can select all these layers. I'm selecting them all. And I can just move the whole thing over a little bit to make sure his little sweet little foot. Oh, but I want his hand in there too. I think I'm going to leave it right where it is. But you see what I'm doing a little bit. Now I'm back at layer 5. Oh, I think I want to be on layer 6. So I'm making a new layer. I'm using keyboard commands to make layers. Now, of course, we want to save once in a while. And this is something you can't do on your canvas either. I feel like sort of like nanny boo-boo a little here. Like, oh, see what I can do? But it is pretty fascinating. I'm going to go back to my just plain brush tool, nothing fancy here. Just the one I like, that hard round pressure size, the one I started with. A really small little brush and normal, and I want my opacity back up at 100 because I just want to do some little drawing here. I love this little cup where his shoulder comes in, and then that could just be one layer, you know, because all this can animate later. And then I love this little tender part of his body, so sweet. And then I want to get the gesture of his buttocks, and then the other buttock, and then the foot. Oh my God, it's so gorgeous, isn't it? It's so gorgeous. I'm going to take the opacity down, make another layer. It's a wonderful model. What a pose. I don't know how he could do this for long. And just make his foot sit on that ground. Now when I press, this paper feels my pressure. It feels me. It knows what I'm asking it to do. I've got to go back to opacity 100. I'm going to go to another layer. Now look how many layers I have over. See over here? See how many layers I have? I've got 9 layers. I can go rename them later. But I want to get a bit of this leg going over here. I've got to move my menus. See, I have so much versatility here. And it might not make sense, but I really don't care. But I just want to draw this wonderful, wonderful thing going on that happens with his foot. It's just, oh my God, is that exquisite? Who could say? And I just need 3 dots under his toes there, and I'm not really quite sure why. Who could say? And that's when we know that creativity and our art, just things that happen while you're drawing something. He's got a big square block on his head, and I'm just going to make that square. I mean, it's kind of wild, I know, but I'm just going to go to the rectangle mark, and I don't know, I just feel like making, he's a guy, he's kind of a blockhead, you know? I mean, I'm a feminist. I'm making a little square. I might not keep this in, but I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to go to the stroke, and I'm going to fill it with 10 picks and say, okay, yeah, you blockhead, there you go. But I love men too, so I'm sure this guy's a great guy. Anyway, we're back to our pen tool, and oh, you better get out of select mode or you'll be sorry. Okay, so we go back to the pen. Oh, let's save. I'm not saying this is any great thing, but oh my God, look at this. Actually, I was working on the head, but now I'm looking at this other forearm going down, and I'm just not using too many brushes. But I think I'll use a different one just so you can see how things, you know, we're just kind of playing around here today. Let's try this crosshatch and draw his arm that's coming down, or maybe just his hair. Let's go for his hair with that crosshatch. That might be fun. Filling in the square little. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, little square. And let's just have one for huge emphasis. I have it at 125. I'm going to do one big plop. How about that? And how about that? He's looking, it's like he's straining. And I don't know if I really like all this, but it's kind of interesting, isn't it? I kind of like the way it's going. And I love that I'm sharing it with you. Now that hand over there, I got to get back to, no, none of these fancy brushes. Let's get back to the gritty pencil hard. Actually, I haven't used the gritty pencil hard. I'm going to stay at 100%. And I just want to try to start to get that beautiful little, oh my gosh, those fingers. You know, how the human body is just so awesome. You know, and he's got such a beautiful, oh, I want to make this bigger. So awesome. Hold on. I want to make, you know, that finger is tied to the shoulder up here. Oh, let's make another layer. I just want to accent that up there, and then come back to the finger like, yes, I'm connected to you a little bit. Okay, we're just going forward, and well, I don't know. I don't like the gritty pencil as much as I still go back to my hard ground pressure. You know how you have all these things and you keep just using the one tool that you love? It's just the way we are. Okay, we're at 100% still, and I'm going to do another layer. I'm going to save, Command S, and I'm going to like just try to make that beautiful, beautiful, oh my God, that beautiful arm that's going back and resting on the fingers that are flat. Wow. But somehow I want to go back to that ankle over there. And also again, I'm just really into that foot. And I'm also into that tuft of hair. And, you know, we could do a lot more to this, but I just kind of like the abstractness of it. I really, really do. So I think I'm going to do a layer and make it 90%. This is seems a little too dark. And I think I might take this off, but I always like, no, I think I'll make it a gray. Let's go into gray. Okay. And we'll make it 100% because we now got gray. But I want to sign this because if I ever put this up as an NFT, I want them to know it's made as a digital piece, meaning I signed this. If it's 1 of 10, if I decide to make an edition, which is an easy thing to do with digital, I want them to know this was signed. This was signed Roz AP. And I'm always kind of careful about where I sign. Man, I want this to be a really small brush, so we'll just keep seeing how this works. And I'm going to sign it right here, Roz. And then AP number 1. But see, I don't know if I like that because it's kind of getting in the way of the drawing. So forget that. Okay, now that's what's great. See what I did? I just take a layer off and on. I'm going to go make another layer, and I think I'm kind of looking at this place right here. I'm just thinking I might want to sign it right here, but really lightly. You know, I don't like the signature to take over the piece. Roz. See, you can barely see it, but there it is. AP number 1. I'm going right down his thigh, and I've signed it, and it's a real piece, and it's going, and boy, it's been fun to share this with you. I'm going to stop the recording.